Sorry for being gone for a while. I got preoccupied with school and work in general. So yeah. This is the Bonelab Brick Challenge. There are a couple ground rules to get through this. Number 1. As soon as I find large dungeon brick, I have to carry it until the end of the game. Now I can drop it to do certain sections, but that is it. Number 2. If I have to switch to a character before I unlock them using the body log, I will add that to a counter that will be displayed in the top left of the screen. Number 3. I must not skip a section unless I think it is necessarily worthy. So with all that said, let's begin the challenge. After choosing the most optimal body for the challenge, I was immediately called a heretic by my non-brick believing friends, and immediately hung the wrong way. Their mere shackles were not enough to hold the girth of my frame, so I immediately broke out of it within 5 seconds. Of course, with no involvement from a strange radio man. After landing in the French catacombs, I proceeded to make my way towards a dungeon. This dungeon somehow housed sentient skeletons, which was above my understanding, but most importantly, it housed large dungeon brick. After doing a small puzzle, aka volleyballing that switch, I went through and proceeded to do a tiny little jump, almost killing myself in the process. Exploring the catacombs a bit, I run into my first couple of enemy encounters. These are fine, the enemies will infight, allowing me to sneak by the enemies. I am fighting the enemies for some reason. After the imbecilic enemy encounter, I proceeded to make my way up the escalator. Then, I Among Us sussy imposter my way through the vents, ending up in a warehouse with some sort of broken elevator. They should probably get that fixed. Then came Bonelab Hub, one of the hardest levels in this challenge, due to the fact that there is a single small hole that the brick cannot get through. Though that small hole wasn't the only challenge, as I managed to get my way through it. After making it through the small hole, I found my way up a ladder. Though, the only problem is I had to do an avatar switch to get to heavy to make my way up the ladder. After getting up the ladder, I found my way to another hole, this time too small to possibly get the brick through, since it was a spinning fan.
To maybe clip? If I can get that vert to probably clip through there?
Unfortunately, I had to skip this part, due to the impassability of the brick. I fall into the sewers, immediately getting shot by security. After dispatching them with my helpful pal, the large brick, I do the ball puzzle. 10 likes and I get the Sisyphus challenge done. I lower the ramp and go down the slide. The feds have found me again and have brought backup this time. They didn't know about me, my brick, and my 9mm though. Falling into the garbage, I pull a valve, and takes some time, but the feds don't take any time away from me. To make my daring escape, I jumped onto the upper boardwalks with my brick, of course. I used some Looney Tune-esque mechanics to escape my captors. I had made it to the amusement park named Mine Dive. First thing I do is try to get my brick to ride the rocket ship. It didn't work. After a quick measurement of me and my brick, we head onto the roller coaster. As it turns out, I was in for an hour of pain. As the minecart arrived, I tried to position me and my brick into the perfect area. The ride went smoothly until the minecart stopped. Little did I know, this would be the first of many snags on this adventure. I shot my gun to propel myself forward, to no avail. I had to restart the level. With my positioning on key, I make it further into Mine Dive. Eventually, my minecart gets stuck on an upwards ramp. I switch to tall to propel myself forward with the brick. After a couple more non-run ending snags, I have to switch to tall again since I had accidentally dropped the brick. After propelling myself forward for a bit, I eventually make it to the 98.6 WCCK sign. You can hear the exasperated excitement in my voice when I finish the cursed ride.
Yes! Holy shit!
After being sent to the Shadow Realm, I wake up in the void. Walking out into the adjoining hallway, I see that the feds are back on my ass. Of course, they underestimated my brick. Another vent crosses my path and I crawl through. Finding a shotgun, the popo suddenly collapsed for some reason. I find no food in the cafeteria. Pissed off, I kill the inhabitants of said cafeteria. After going through another vent, I find Jumbo Jimbo. Jimbo must have been head of the cartel due to the amount of policia around him. Jimbo gives me a strange wristwatch when I find him, and then chucks me into an elevator. I must have had one hell of a bogey as the elevator out of John's Drug Den had brought me to the bathroom of some bar. Jay gave me some steroids and I started speaking like a donkey.
Fucking stupid ass.
As I carve through the level with my brick's newfound strength, I murder everyone in my path. Of course, the feds start coming out of every crack and crevice to try and stop my roided out rock-hard biceps. Through sheer intimidation tactics, I make it into the police headquarters. It turns out they were working with the Yakuza due to their ownership of a shitty katana. I give my shotgun some farewell shots and continue up the elevator shaft. I do a neat trick shot and proceed to have my duel with the Yakuza boss. Bricked up. It lasts all of 5 seconds. As I got off another elevator, the roids that Jike had given me must have worn off. Thankfully, I had extra. Having a couple of close calls with the brick, I managed to avoid the La Feliciano for a bit. As it turns out, La Feliciana brought the helicopter this time. I go through a hallway, unlike Confusion Friday where we did some climbing. Doing some light parkour, I disarm the guards and activate the switch. It was an easy job due to me being a
highly trained professional.
Getting onto the Monogon crate, I immediately lose the height advantage due to my horrible throwing skills. Doing the best Indiana Jones impression I can, I grab onto a rope and carry my treasure into another room. In this room, corpses start falling from the ceiling. though I realize it's coming from the outside. After making it to the top of the stairs, I have to use an avatar switch to get to heavy so I can actually make the brick across the gap. I would have used fast, but at the time I didn't think she was strong enough to carry the brick across. I recently learned from Wigwam that you could shoot the damn thing down.
Still got a soft spot for it. Let's see. What the fuck? That shit sounds like a fucking video game urban legend. There's no way that just happened.
It seems that Johan's magical elevator summoning ability came in handy. It sent me straight to hell. In all seriousness, there isn't much to this level, so enjoy the montage. It seems that Jose has flown me to the moon, and turned me into a cat while he was at it. Okay, so what do you have this time, Juan? Gene! What the fuck? How? How is this physically possible? How does your sick, twisted mind...
So I can't the go-karters are driving as the first one nearby. After 3 laps, the race is finished.
I become the best medieval basketball player, and begin the Ascent. I switch to Heavy since he can carry the brick easier. Having some trouble getting up, I eventually make it to a checkpoint. Failing to get up further a couple more times, I switch back to Tall, but fall even farther. Eventually, making it up to the second level of this, I kill the weird rock creatures. Not with the rock, but with a gun. The brick didn't seem to work at all on them. Maybe they're cousins. Climbing up further, I start to think there's a theme to this level, but I had already completed it.
You bitch! You're lucky I like this brick.
Hey, you made it back. Come on, get over here. Not bad, kid. Your body log's ready for full function. You're gonna have fun with that thing. You know, all of this, it's what the boneworks team flushed. Maybe there's more. I don't know. But I do know there's a lot more than just Fantasyland out there. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Peekaboo.
I don't know where this all ends.
Peekaboo.
But let's build something and find out together. The Ascent ain't gonna be easy, but you're ready, I think.
Peekaboo.
Take this.
Yeah, this is kind of what Roblox
See you
wants to be.
topside.
Peekaboo.
Being the first person to actually find a use for light, I get me and my trusty brick up into the Ascent. Learning how to play a couple rounds of golf, the fart music starts to play. Gravity seems to be fucked up in this weird golf dimension, but I will let it slide due to the Sisyphus ball being here. Getting way above par on the first couple of holes, I get my hands on a developer weapon. Obliterating the ops and finally getting par, I get rewarded with a shotgun. Going for more than just killing these guys, I listen to the music and do some stylish takedowns. Killing the dead guy, I move on to the giant trees, because they look like they would be a good next path. Attempting to climb this Alice in Wonderland-esque abomination leads me to falling repeatedly as I master each attempt. The cool explosions probably didn't help either. Eventually, I make it to the top of this weird grassy tree thing by using some odd parkour tricks. Then, I fall again. For real making it up this time, I make it into the zero gravity zone, where I use the brick as a paddle to push my way up into the next area. Finding the only other dungeon brick in the game, and watching it fall into the aether, I accidentally disturb the coolest skeleton ever. Going into another room and taking out the guards with Skyrim-style music playing, I actually do the pool puzzle and head into the sewers. Climbing across some ropes and bludgeoning the nearest folks, I get another snag. The brick cannot fit through this garbage disposal. Add 3 to the count! Becoming the space cat again, I run through the sewers to hopefully find an exit. Head crabs galore and no exit in sight, I finally get launched out of the sewers and fall into a pit. Making it out of the pit and respawning the brick, I continue to do the challenge. I kill some null brains before I plug in the anti-gravity machine and jump across the gap. Making it to the treadmill of death, I thought I could run across it with fast or jump over it with heavy. Guess which avatar I had to use, kids? It was tall! After getting across into the mimicry of the outside world, I persuade the guards to stop breathing. Heading into the party room, I get assaulted by some drunk guests. I broke their spines. I also see the only good use of AI-generated imagery in gaming. Leaving the room, I push on, running up an apartment building's stairs, and into some sort of train terminal. Here comes a big pain moment. Stress level 0 patched out a glitch where you could push the vending machine in front of the train to get it to stop. After getting hit by the train a couple of times, and using fast to duck and weave around the train, I eventually get the brick to the other side, not without falling out of bounds once. Going up the escalator and into a small mall, I finally escape the innards of the city, escaping out to Fantasyland, visiting home one last time. It seems that I have looped back around. Back to the place that didn't want me. The place that hung me. But at least, I can finally deliver that order.
Oh! Sir! Hey! Yeah, you in the taxi. I got your order of brick.
Oh, give me land, lots of land under starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze and listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please, don't fence me in.
Just turn me loose, let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western sky.
So yeah, that's a basic summary of what happened.
That did not happen.
Is it really that unbelievable?
That did not happen.
We live in the fucking void.
Yes.
Literally anything's possible. I mean, we're literally in a fucking gas station that's in the middle of nowhere.
That couldn't have happened.
Uh-huh.
No.
So you're telling me that the client did not do that? He ordered that brick and then sent
There's
me
no way our
on a
client
6-hour
could have done
wild
that.
goose chase.
Yup. No way he could have done that.